Hey guys, Untitled Chapter 525 here, back for the second of 3 reviews that I have planned for summer 2018. This time, it is on Bill and Ben. Bill and Ben were first introduced in Season 2 of the TV series, in the episode The Diseasel, and they are very mischievous, cheeky, like to play tricks on engines, but they have good hearts nonetheless, are hard workers, and work mainly in quarries and dockyards. So there you have it. I mean, I don't think there's really anything much more to say about their bios, as I want, of course, to go right into their models. So yeah. So let's talk about the Bachmann models first. And as I promised, I have the Hornby models off on the side, but since the Bachmann models are what I use in the series, that's what I like to talk about in my reviews for the most part. So, for Bachmann, these models came out, or I mean, well, not came out, but I think it did come out and were announced in 2010. And 2010, I will say for sure, was a very strong year for Bachmann. You know, they announced many new products, including Build Ben, Donald Douglas, Troubles in Truck Number 3, Tidmouth Sheds, I think. Or Tidmouth Sheds might have been announced in 2009, but it was either that or 2010. But anyways, yeah, I mean, fans were very happy with the 2010 announcements. I can say that for sure. I mean, I certainly was when I saw them. Because at the time, I had a Hornby Bill, and the model just didn't really do it for me. I mean, it was oversized. I mean, really, I'm kind of speaking ahead of myself now, since I was going to bring in the Hornby models later on, as I wanted to show you guys the Bachmann ones first. But there you have it. That's just me rambling. So when looking at the models, you'll notice that they are very accurate to the TV series. You'll notice too that I modified my Bachmann Bill and Ben, because the original models have a very big gap here, which is meant for the couplers. But since I am a TV series complete freak, I decided to cover it up with clay, paint it in a bright red that matched the rest of the, whatever you call this, I don't even know what it's called, sorry, and cover it up and then give him a chain coupling. Personally, I think he looks much better like this, and of course more accurate. And yeah, so again, when looking at the Bachmann models, the proportions are fantastic, you know, just like the TV series. They're not too big, they're not too small. I also like especially how the side rods, like these, go up on an angle. They're not just going straight across. That's fantastic detailing right there. Of course, the nameplate is in the right font, the right size. SCC looks nice, and you can see Brendan Bay on there. Although the one thing I wish was that this was a little bit brighter, so you could see it. And there's Bill's face, which is very accurate to the TV series. I do think his eyebrows should be raised up a little bit higher to match the TV series, but the actual, like, sculpt of the face, you know, the sculpting quality of the face, you know, that is spot on. The eyes on mine are a little bit wonky, but hey, no big problem. I think the back is one of my favorite parts of the model too, is just because they got the colors right. They even got like the little indents on my camera can't really, there we go. If you notice, like, there's a little like indent going around here, like around the perimeter of the brown area of the cab. That's just wonderful detailing right there. Windows, cab is the correct size, nice white roof. I think one interesting thing about these models is of course they have different faces, but like, look at the whistles. I mean, Bill's whistle has like a little gold beam getting off of it, but Ben's is just the whistle and without the beam. So don't know if Ben just maybe came out with like some kind of error, or if Bachmann purposely did that just to distinguish them even more. I mean, I don't mind it personally. I think it's pretty cool. But if I remember, both of them, at least in the Diseasel, you know, at the very beginning where they're like, you know, Bill and Ben are tank engine twins. Each has 4 wheels, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. Like they show their whistles. And I think both of them did have this whistle, but the fact that Ben didn't get that doesn't bother me too much. If anything, I think it's kind of cool since it distinguishes them more. Anyways, what else to say? Boiler's nice, nicely constructed. My Bill and Ben, for some reason, actually, I will say, is not too shiny. I don't know if this is just the case with everyone's Bill and Ben, but I kind of like that. It just almost gives them a little bit more of a rustic feel, even though, I mean, of course they're not like a matte finish or anything, but the fact that they aren't too shiny, I kind of like. It just kind of makes them stand out in a way from the rest of my Bachmann models. So, they run very smoothly, by the way. I should have said that before as well. They run at different speeds, though. That's another thing I find kind of odd. I think my Ben runs a little faster than my Bill, but they do both run very smoothly. Yeah, Ben's got his face from the Great Discovery, or I think also he was also seen in season 11. Personally, I mean, I love Bill's face. I have no problem with that since that's a classic face, but Ben's face, I kind of wish it was that other cheery look. You get what I'm saying? Like, he had this face, but there was also that other one that I think people, including myself, are just much more familiar with, as it was seen also, in the earlier episodes with Bill and Ben. You guys probably know what face I'm talking about, but it's that other very, very iconic face that Bill and Ben both wore. That's also a very jovial, cheeky look. There you have it. Ben's pretty much the same thing as Bill, so it's not really much else to say or show. Oh, I guess I'll show the bottom. You'll notice, yeah, 2010. Right there, if my camera will focus. Yeah, you can kind of see it. There we go. And, yeah. Don't really know what else to say about the looks. I guess now is a good time to bring in the Hornby models so I can show you the differences. So I'll just bring in Bill. You know what, I'm just going to probably bring in one of them because they're both literally identical with the exception of the nameplates. So here's Hornby Bill. First thing you'll notice is that it's much bigger. Proportions are a little odd and plain, I will say. The face is kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure this resembles their blank expression from the TV series, but I find it interesting that Hornby chose this expression out of all the expressions that they've worn. I mean, it definitely looks classic, that's for sure, but an interesting expression. And I think the reason why this is so massive is that it's based off of the old Hornby Clockwork Bill and Ben, because I believe those came out first, like in the 90s, and then these came out in the early 2000s. I think the biggest downside is that they just didn't bother to paint this. I mean, is it really that hard to get brown and black paint and paint that? I mean, like, really. But hey, it is what it is. I think my favorite thing about the model, though, is that what makes this better than the Bachmann model is that the way the coupling's situated. So on the Bachmann model, it has this big gap, whereas on the Hornby model, it's still a gap, but a very small one. So if I took this off, because it's not off at the moment, it wouldn't look as noticeable. I mean, I probably wouldn't even add in clay because it's so small. Whereas on the Bachmann model, like, it'd be very noticeable and look very, very odd. So that's that. Hornby models, unfortunately, don't have whistles either. But I mean, most of the colors are correct, I will say. They do also run very smoothly. Yeah. Nothing much to say about that. I mean, they are rare, but if you are a Hornby fan and you like Bill and Ben, I mean, might as well get these. I mean, there are still nice models, although I do prefer the Bachmann personally. So there you have it. For some reason in the TV series, Bill and Ben's wheels are now red. Don't know why ARC or whoever, was in charge of that decision, made that decision, but I mean, I personally like their black wheels. I just think it matches, it fits with their looks much more than the red wheels. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm not used to it and I'm biased because I prefer the older series, but hey, that's just me. Alright, well, that's pretty much all I have to say about these guys. I'd certainly recommend them. They are wonderful models. I like the fact that Bachmann never discontinued these. I'm very thankful for that. and hope that they will never be discontinued. You know. Anyways. But that's all I really have to say, guys. I give these both a 10 out of 10. Would recommend them to any Bachmann and Hornby Thomas collector. And now here's a little clip from the episode One Good Turn. So hope you enjoy that.
Then suddenly both twins laughed. "I don't think we'll take turns this time, Ben," said Bill. "I think we'd better pull together." Ben was delighted. It was good to be helping each other. Best of all, it was good to be friends again.